What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to InvestQ. And today we're going to be talking about a stock that we covered not too long ago. It's none other than ticker symbol RDZN, RDZN. And I just want to do a quick update on it because over the past week we've seen some pretty interesting price action. The stock is up roughly 13 to 14% this week. And if you did zoom out in a longer time frame period, it's up around 37% on the month. And it's about 36 to 37%. And what makes this move particularly interesting to me is the timing, because this is happening after RDZN had that record quarter regarding revenue for Q1 of fiscal year 2027. And shortly after, for this week, we've seen it just continue to climb up and up. And RDZN is currently trading at $1.61. So I just wanted to do a quick video doing a quick revisit on some important key takeaways from the previous quarter and talk about what it is I'm personally going to be watching for RDZN as we do move higher. And quick disclosure, the paid promotion label that you saw in the top left corner at the beginning of the video refers only to affiliate promotions. None of the companies that I cover pay me for my stock analysis. Everything discussed is based on publicly available information, my own research and opinions, and none of this is financial advice. So first, let's just talk about the price action alone real quick, because I do think that deserves some attention, just a little bit of attention, because typically on this channel, we don't really cover too much about the price action. We don't talk too much about trades, swing or day trades on this channel. We mostly talk about the fundamentals and the underlying business of a company. But I just wanted to take a quick look at that because when you zoom out, let me just actually check on my Robinhood so I can actually get the actual percentage amounts and be correct. So right now, due to the fact that we're trading at $1.61 over the past week, we're up 15.5% right now, almost 16%. And over the past month, we are up almost 40% on the month. So yeah, so we are seeing some pretty interesting moves regarding that, and it continues to grind higher and higher. So after following the last week's quarterly report, that momentum has continued. Now, I do want to be careful here and make it clear that just because the stock went up after earnings, that does not prove that the earnings report alone is what's causing the move that we've seen over the past week. Because with a company of this market cap at this size, at the scale that they're at, and the fact that they can be pretty volatile, there's always going to be a possibility for a number of factors for why the share price is moving in either direction. Now, considering what we did see and what they just reported, I do think that the timing is at least worth discovering, or is at least worth discussing, because again, it was a record quarter regarding revenue at $16.2 million, which is an increase of 49% year over year compared to fiscal year 2026 Q1 revenue. And one of the biggest things that we discussed, that was one of the biggest things that we did discuss. And why I say that matters is because one of the biggest questions surrounding the stock is if RDZN, as to whether or not all of these partnerships and acquisitions that they've been doing and their angle that they have regarding AI-powered insurance products, whether or not this all can translate into meaningful financial growth. And this is showing like it is somewhat of a sign, and this quarter did give us some evidence that the underlying business is moving in the right direction in a positive way. And at the same time, though, to be clear, I don't want to turn one good quarter into something that it's not, because at the end of the day, RDZN, they are still a small company with significant execution risk, and revenue growth alone is not enough. We still need to watch the company's expenses, losses, cash position, maybe even potential dilution, and ultimately whether or not management can move this business toward sustainable profitability. Those risks don't disappear just because the stock has moved in the upward direction almost 40% in one given month. And talking about RDZN and their underlying business, Again, the company has been expanding, and in previous videos, we've discussed RDZN's push into the United States, including the roadside assistance business and the contract serving more than 500,000 users. Quick reminder before we continue, if you're enjoying the content and want to connect with the community, check out the first link below for the free InvestQ community. And if you want access to advanced stock research and tools, the second link is a Prophecy 7-day trial for just $7. And last, if you want daily market updates and behind the scenes content, follow me on Instagram using the third link in the description. Now, let's get back to the video. Contract serving more than 500,000 users. And we've also talked about the company's strategy of using its technology across insurance, roadside assistance, and other areas of the automotive ecosystem. And more recently, on July 9th of 2026, RDZN announced the acquisition of a European managing general agent, or otherwise known as an MGA, which did give the company exposure to the large car rental insurance market. So when you combine these developments with improving revenue, I think that we are reaching an interesting point in the RDZN story. And the question is becoming less about whether RDZN can announce partnerships and more about whether management can turn all of those pieces into a consistently growing and eventually profitable business. Now, what I'm going to be watching from here, and to be clear, I want to make it clear, I'm not just going to look at the 36% move and suddenly tell you that RDZN has everything figured out and there are no risks, because clearly that was not the case. And I don't like to be, even on companies that I cover frequently, like Big Bear AI, CTM, even a good example that I talk about was SealsQ. Yesterday, I angled my video in a way that even though I own shares of the company and I am a shareholder, I still angled it in the sense that I really do have questions about the recent partnership they made. So I always like to ask questions and remove emotions as much as I possibly can, and in a way be unbiased. And by unbiased, I don't mean necessarily that I don't want to see a company perform well over time, but necessarily just because I'm a shareholder or I'm bullish on the company, I don't want to be having rose-tinted windows and completely ignore any potential red flags or risks associated with any companies. And that's why I'm saying with the 36% or the 40% move, 36 to 40% move we've seen over the past month, you shouldn't just have those rose-tinted glasses is what I'm getting at. You got to look at the pros, cons, opportunities, and risks, bull case versus bear case scenario for any stock that you wish to invest in or currently own shares of. And even though I'm saying that about the price action to be cautious, you still shouldn't ignore it because it's still pretty interesting. And for a while, one of the frustrating things about RDZN was that there could be positive developments in the underlying business without much sustained reaction from the stock. But per the results of the Q1 fiscal year 2027 quarterly report and the price action that we've seen over the past week and month, that doesn't appear to be the case at this very moment. So the question right now would be whether or not RDZN can sustain this momentum and continue and can hold the momentum and can continue it to keep on going the way that it is. So overall, I'm encouraged with what it is that we're seeing from RDZN right now, not simply because of the moves in the percentage moves up as much as 15% this week or 40% on the month, but because the price action is occurring alongside some improvements in the underlying business. I like to see when there's positive news followed by positive price action rather than just random pumps for no given reason. But to be clear, this still is RDZN. It's a volatile small cap company, and there's still plenty that RDZN needs to there's still plenty of things that RDZN does still need to prove. So I'm going to continue to watch the fundamentals first, and I'm going to look at the share price second. So that's how I'm going to be approaching it. And let me know what it is you guys think about RDZN in the comment section below. Also, let me know what you want to see in future upcoming videos, as I do love giving the content that you guys want to see. But with that being said, guys, stay safe, InvestQ out, and I'll see you on the next video.